We've got so much to talk to him about. Michael, it's great to have you on the program.
Andrew, good to see you.
I don't know if you had an opportunity just to hear JD Vance. I'd actually just love to get some of your reactions even to that before we get into so many of the other issues. Anything strike you?
Well, my first reaction is I'm so glad I don't have to run for public office. I mean, it's just like, nothing in particular. But having to sort of like toe the Trump line, it's got to be hard on TV. He comes on and says stuff, and some of it's true and some of it's not. The thing that that he's been saying lately that speaks directly to some of the work you just mentioned is their insistence that there's this thing called the deep state, and they're going to come in and politicize the federal workforce. And this series, it's not just me. I kind of curated a group of 7 writers. We sort of airdropped them into the federal workforce just to say, who are these people who are the deep state? And the stories are amazing. I mean, it's like tear-jerking public service. And I would love for the Trump operation to sort of like be poked and prodded a bit more about this plan, the Project 2025 plan, to like, we're going to sort of like eliminate huge chunks of the federal workforce, and we're gonna make 50,000 of these employees political appointees so we can fire them on a whim. And if they're poked and prodded on that, I think that the answer is going to be embarrassing. It is not a way to run the federal government, and in some cases, kind of a little dangerous. So that's what JD Vance has been talking about lately that sort of caught my ear.
Michael, 2 things. One is former President Trump has said that he's repeatedly said that he's not necessarily in favor of the 2025 plan. But one of the things he has said that he's absolutely in favor of is Elon Musk's suggestion to him. And he now wants Elon Musk to effectively run a group of people to look at efficiencies inside the government. You spent a lot of time looking inside the government. How much efficiency is there really to wring out?
So this is a great question. It's not the worst idea in the world to like turn the public's attention to the efficiency of the federal government. There are things that can be done. I mean, but it's almost in the opposite direction of the noise he's been making. I mean, we have 4,000 presidential appointees who run the government, and their nominations are held up for years in Congress, and so it's effectively the management layer at the top of the workforce is hamstrung. I mean, that's something you would want to address. I mean, eliminate some of that friction. There is, I'm sure, you go into some of the agencies and there's lard and there's fat and there's waste. I mean, of course there is. There is in the private sector. But what you actually find when you kind of kick around, what to most people are obscure agencies, Department of Labor or Commerce or Agriculture, is you find like people doing their best at really kind of mission critical jobs in spite of a kind of a hostile public, in spite of a neglectful Congress, like in spite of management that turns over every 2 years. So I'm sure there are things to do. I'm just not so sure the spirit in which they operate is the best spirit to come in, which is like these are wasteful, inefficient, corrupt people, and I'm going to whip them into shape by firing a bunch of them and politicizing the rest. That doesn't seem like the brightest approach.
Michael, let me ask you a different question. You've covered Wall Street, you've covered Silicon Valley, you've covered business for a very long time, and you've covered the politics and policy of it all. It feels like with this election, there are more folks in the world of business taking a political role or a very vocal role, and maybe a function of social media, I don't know, but where you have clear divisions now in Silicon Valley, for example, it just seems different. Is it different?
This is a longer conversation, but I think one of the things that's happened is that social media has forced everybody into feeling like they have to have an opinion. And there's a mechanism to have a quick opinion, so that people are, they're out there and they're saying things and they get anchored in an opinion, and then they're all of a sudden in a tribe, and they're sort of forced to defend that, as opposed to just doing what business people historically have done, is lay low and let the storm pass. So I think that's partly it. And partly, I mean, these are such polarized times, right? So you got to pick a side. and you're constantly asked to pick a side.